Hello, guys.
Hi.
Welcome back to episode 45.
Wow, that's a
Yep.
lot.
Yep. Today, Jeremy's out. Yeah, because he didn't make it through the storm.
Oh
We have
no.
a huge winter storm in Minnesota. And yeah, just the toughest ones are in the room with us today,
Yeah.
it seems.
only one old guy today.
I think we will hear about that from him later. But who is not here will get roasted, right? This
That's
is
for
a
sure.
tradition in here.
That's absolutely correct.
Right. And I want to start off with your favorite thing to do in the beginning to kind of relate to sports.
Actually, before you get going, sorry, I'm going to steal your thunder a little bit.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So you said last week that Lisa has her own following.
She does.
So I figured we'd play musical chairs since Jeremy isn't here. Figured we'd play musical chairs to give Lisa her spotlight so that she can.
Yeah.
See, the captain's chair.
Yeah.
Right, the captain's chair, because we thought because of the following, I am back in my hosting seat,
Yep.
Barbara Walters, so to speak.
And if you
AKA
watch it
Lisa.
on YouTube, you can actually see now a video. She's got her own screen.
Yeah, she's got her. That's what I was trying to get at. Is she has her own screen. No one doesn't have me in the picture.
Yeah.
No one steal my light. I'm actually shining a
you're-
little bit
you're nice
more
and-
than you
That's-
guys.
that's
You look like you're sitting in the dark, right?
Yeah, that's the normal glow I think you give off, especially in the captain's chair.
Right. This is the snowy glow.
Oh,
Storm glow.
jeez.
Anyways, guys, I brought a sports related fact. Can you believe? I have no idea what I'm talking about, but I figured out that 45 was the jersey number of Michael Jordan when he came back after retirement.
Oh, that's an interesting fact. I forgot about that.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's
Hmm.
about everything I have to
That's,
say about
that
that.
sums it up. Good for me. I don't need
With the
anything else.
Wizards, 45.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure it was
Really? Oh,
45.
interesting.
He may have been 45 in baseball as well. Remember, he tried out a little bit of
Yeah.
baseball.
But it
Oh.
says after retiring for the first time.
Yep.
Yep.
Like
He was-
obviously he retired.
he was
multiple times.
45. He was
he retired and then came back and was
Okay.
playing for the Wizards.
Oh,
23 before that. So
Okay.
that was his
that's a
main.
good
That's
note.
everybody recognized Jordan in the
23.
dunking.
for the
23.
Bulls,
Yeah,
Chicago Bulls.
but that's a good fact for.
Yeah, thank you. But I
Yeah,
have also
interesting.
something non-sports related for us non-sports nerds. And it ties in back. It ties in nicely with last weekend's Oscar nomination and Oscar celebrations on the weekend. The 45th Academy Awards, which were held in 1973. Tyler,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
look stunned. That's
Yeah.
way before our
Glossed-
time.
Glossed over. Oh,
Right.
I was around.
Yeah, you were around. And
Barely.
Marlon
Do you remember it?
Brando,
No.
Marlon Brando famously rejected his Oscar for The Godfather.
Which is one of the most famous movies of all time.
Right. That was apparently a huge thing, and that was the 45th Oscar Awards.
Wow,
Yeah.
love that
right.
fact. I'm not a
I
big
don't know.
Oscar
I'm
guy.
getting it out
Yeah,
today.
Yeah,
It's-
wow.
that's good.
Tyler is just jealous because he never has such great facts.
Yeah.
Anyways. I also brought and it ties in with my first topic for today, the wait what topic, and it caught me by surprise because I never heard of that company, and it's kind of a little bit of fun fact. I thought, I don't know if you ever heard about Mixu. I don't know how to pronounce that really. It's a Chinese bubble tea company, and it IPO'd, so it went public just this Monday.
Not on the American
No,
stock
no,
exchange.
in Hong Kong.
Hong
yeah.
Kong. Yeah.
And the thing why I thought it's a fun fact is it apparently has more store locations than McDonald's.
That I saw a story
I
of
was
that.
like, whoa.
That's crazy.
Mhm.
And what do they sell? Did I read that right? Is it
Is it-
tea and ice cream?
Yeah, it is like a bubble tea. I don't know. Have you ever
I mean-
heard have you ever had bubble tea? Is that a thing in the US?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah?
it's somewhat popular here. I
Oh,
mean,
really?
I guess not with this crowd, but
Not with the
um,
old people.
But
I guess.
I just wanted to maybe mention, like, especially like Keith, your kids, your son, your daughters. Is that a thing among the younger
No,
ones?
I see some bubble cans around. I don't know if that's bubble tea.
Yeah.
Though. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like when I was at the U of M, there was a bubble tea shop on campus that
Oh,
a
okay.
lot of people go to
Interesting.
for
How-
like
was it-
study breaks and
Now, the one interesting thing I saw on there was the price points, like a equivalent
It's
to less
pretty-
than $1 or
yep,
something
right,
like US. How
right.
how
Oh,
about on
geez.
campus? What was
Yeah,
it back? No,
no,
okay, that's what I was
no.
wondering.
I can't remember the exact price, but I'll tell you, it
Wasn't a
wasn't
dollar?
a
Yeah,
dollar.
yeah. And that company is not yet in the US. There's
is
just in
crazy.
11 countries, all Asian countries, but still it manages, and overall it's more than 45,000 stores.
Yeah, how
So
many-
more than McDonald's worldwide.
How
That's-
many Starbucks stores do you think there are? Do you think there's more than? Does Starbucks have more shops than?
Store. I think Starbucks is like 41,000.
Yeah.
I think, on the
So
chart, right?
even more than Starbucks.
Interesting.
And I've never
'Cause that
heard
would
of
be the-
that.
I think the
we all have never heard of
biggest
that.
comparison, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like drink and drink. So
Yeah.
it's probably they're probably small.
I see
mean,
that.
obviously I don't know, but I'm speculating that they're probably like smaller, just like little corner
Kiosk. That's kind of.
Yeah.
I went and actually looked online because I saw the stat too on the story. I'm like, what? And I actually looked at what they look like, and the storefront looked like you said, maybe
Yeah.
20 feet wide, and they're known for their they have an ice cream logo, like a red logo
Yeah.
with ice cream.
Probably all that fancy with the Chinese colors and
Color,
logos
yeah, very,
and
it's very,
the
very bright,
figures,
and
yeah.
it's cheap. So my guess is it's just like a really
Yeah.
small.
Because
you
like
know,
the one that
footprint.
was on campus, it wasn't very big. Like it's just you go in there, there's like 3 tables and
Yeah, the ones that
bar.
I saw
Mhm.
online looked like it was just you walk up, like a kind of like
Oh,
almost
yeah.
like you
like a
know,
drive-through, but a walk-through.
a walkthrough exactly. And they're probably like you said, they're all that's a lot of stores though.
It's
That is a
crazy.
lot.
And they are just in 11 countries, all Asian countries. So that's crazy.
And didn't the stock have I think a big pop the first day? I think as an IPO. I think
It was
up.
like heavily oversubscribed,
Oversubscribed,
and it was heavily anticipated.
Yeah, I
Interesting
guess
that it flew below our radar all the time, right?
I guess we need some mixed use over here. Tyler, it's not like he'd
I'm
be going.
guessing it's probably not coming anytime soon.
Probably not now. No.
Probably not. Well,
Which-
$1 price point, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Tack on 25 or whatever the 60% plus another
Tariff.
10% in tariffs on
Now
that
it's
is.
$2.
Yeah.
Probably still a deal from
Still-
what it's
Still a
deal.
deal. It's still cheaper than Starbucks. But you just hit the point, Tyler, with it's probably not coming anytime soon because of all the tariff talks it's happening as of now. But there's another thing, and that's my hot button topic for today. Another thing that ties in with policies at the moment, that we heard about a crypto reserve, a Bitcoin reserve,
What?
in addition to the gold
Mhm.
reserve. So, and we heard about that
Yeah.
last couple of months, like
Mhm.
multiple times in the campaigning, but then
Yeah.
it kind of died down. And now it's
Was
Trump tweeted something on the weekend.
Ramped
and-
up on Sunday again.
Right. So do you think, and I want to start with you, Keith, do you think we are there yet? Or do you think it's just another thing that Trump gets something out there and then we are backtracking from that, and it's maybe a little bit too
Probably a
too
little
overhyped at the moment?
probably a little backtracking, but I
Mhm.
think it's certainly coming down the pipe.
Mhm.
So I think, he's definitely everyone he's put in the cabinet been pretty much pro crypto, Bitcoin kind of
Mm-hmm.
background. So I do
Mhm.
think there's something coming, and he wants to be first to the
Mhm.
to the market. So I think there probably is. I mean, Tyler knows, he follows a little closer than I do, but I
Right.
mean,
He's
what
our
are your-
crypto
he's
king
our
here.
crypto expert. So we'll have to rely on Tyler for.
I still think it's quite a ways off, to be
Okay.
honest. And I really think part of the issue is just the volatility of the currencies to
Mhm.
begin with, right?
Mhm.
You don't want something as a reserve that goes up or down 5 or 10% in a given day. Like it's not something that adds any value as a reserve, right?
Mhm.
It's more of a speculation that
Right.
the rest of the world will follow and hopefully stabilize the prices. But I don't think my opinion is that's not how they're thinking about it. I think it was part of the voter base, and they want to make sure that they're rallying that voter base and kind of keeping
Yeah.
that going.
How much
Um,
volatility is there in? I mean, kind of, is it still that volatile, like in
Yeah.
Bitcoin relative to the other ones that are mentioned in this?
I mean, we saw the Bitcoin over the weekend rallied significantly and then fell off. What was it on Monday? Like another 10% on
Yeah,
Monday.
I saw.
Right?
I
Like
just,
you have such massive swings on, especially on these kinds of news items. Like it's not something that when you think of investing in crypto for reserve, you want stability
Yeah,
still.
right.
Right. So I don't see a path where this basket of
Mhm.
currencies that he named makes it.
And that's the next thing, right? He does not only, and before that, it was only talks about Bitcoin but he actually expanded that a little bit also to other cryptocurrencies that are lesser known and even more volatile.
Mhm.
So which even adds to the question about financial stability and all of that.
Here's my kind of conspiracy theory after
boy.
watching some
Oh
of
boy,
these.
we're
I
back
wouldn't say
with
it's a
that.
conspiracy theory, right? But it's you've got, as you mentioned, you've got cabinet members who are pro crypto, right? They're the people that they're talking with when all of a sudden Bitcoin's down to 84,000, down from 106,
Yep,
right?
160.
You have people that are very upset, right? Because there haven't, part of the reason it fell was there hasn't been any news on this reserve, which is what the tailwind for crypto was post-election, right? So my theory on this is Trump had people in his ear saying, you haven't talked about this at all. We've talked about a lot of other topics. We've done the tariffs. We've done a lot of things here so far in the first 2 months, but we haven't talked about any type of reserve for crypto. So I think it was like, just get something out there to remind people that it's on the top of your mind rather than actually, I don't know if there's any meaningfulness behind it, to be honest.
Yeah. And just like after the weekend, right? Especially in the smaller currencies that he mentioned and which he would include in the basket, some of them rallied like 50%.
Yeah.
Which
Well, then Monday, I think like Solana sold off another 18% or something.
right.
It's
which
gonna
is like,
reverse.
okay, that's
Yeah.
counterproductive for what it is supposed to be, like a reserve, right? It should be stable. Should reflect the financial stability of the US. And
we have stable coins, right? I mean, isn't that part? I mean, you want to kind of talk about, is that similar, different, or how are you looking at that in the world?
I mean, it's pegged to a certain currency, right? So it allows you to exchange your money a lot easier rather than having the fluctuations of what Bitcoin and some of these other currencies are doing.
Isn't it tied to the U.S. Treasury?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, most of them are. Some of them could be tied to a few different currencies too, but for the most part, it's the Treasury.
Okay.
So it's just a way to store assets, and I think that's, if you want to talk about cryptocurrency and where the future of cryptocurrency goes, that's where the future is stable coins.
Yep.
Right? Because it's if something is inherently stable, it's a lot easier to transact, right? If you get a dollar for dollar of whatever it is, it's a dollar, right? Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Here?
No, I get that. I just kind of trying to, we get a lot of questions of how's that different than potentially what this currency that they're introducing? Is that just a different variety of it? Is it going to be more how do you see that playing out?
Well, so the reason, part of the benefit behind it is obviously it's stable, but then it's 24/7 transactions, cheaper transactions. The big argument that a lot of people make is the unbanked can actually do something, right? And then you're cutting out the middleman, right? So there's none of those processing fees. Like if you want to send a wire, there's a charge. If you want to transfer money, there's always a charge involved because the banks want their cut. There's no, you take that out. You have all of your assets is in your own wallet. So you control your assets rather than, the bank controlling it basically, or, stocks being held at Schwab, technically if Schwab goes under, Schwab can liquidate those, whatever. Right. So it takes that out of the picture and you have all of your assets on your phone.
Yep.
Right. In your wallet that's encrypted, safe. And you can do your transactions whenever you want. And that's the point of the stable coin, is to provide you with that ability to do it. And I think, again, going back to this, the big argument is the unbanked people that can't get a bank account. Maybe you don't have great credit, or maybe you've had some past histories of things, right? Like there's a way for you to actually transact and use money.
Yeah. The other thing I heard is about cross border, like if workers, like if you want to pay someone, instead of if you're in Germany or Austria and have to pay in their currency, and then you got the fluctuation of currency that's a place for it that you would use that. So
But so we talked about volatility, which is a risk here, and different kind of cryptocurrencies, what he potentially proposes or how. And the next thing I'm interested in talking about is security. I mean, we just heard an exchange again, like $1.5 billion got hacked from North Korean hackers and kind of. So how are we dealing with security here? Who is holding the keys here? what exchange, like how would that look like? Also, like security wise, are we set up that way that we are kind of safe from hacking, that the reserves are actually safe?
Yeah. So it's not anybody's wallet that's getting hacked, right? Your wallet, you have a specific key to get into it. Obviously, you can't forget it, right? Because then you can't get into your wallet again.
Which speaking of which, I was just telling these guys the other day that I have external hard drive, which I've got like a couple 100,000 pictures on in my Apple, and somehow it either it's not mounting, and once I get it, mounting means access to on your computer. Now the problem is I am kind of getting it mounted, but then it's encrypted, and like for some reason the encryption used to be on the computer. Now I can't find it, so now I'm a little bit scratching my head. So be careful not to lose passwords. I guess is the point of this whole thing.
But how would it look like in the future? Like the president normally holds the codes for the nukes, right? Will he then also hold the key for the Bitcoin reserve wallet? How would that look like, right? Who is responsible for that?
And we've added this segment to the digital discovery portfolio, and I'll get to it in a second. But going back to the whole wallet thing, it's not anybody's wallets that are getting hacked. It's the actual exchanges, right? The exchange, think about like Coinbase, or that's what's getting hacked. Obviously, Coinbase isn't getting hacked. It's smaller companies that probably don't have the same level of
robust security, right?
Cybersecurity. So that's why I always say go with the biggest and the well-known, especially from a Coinbase, because they're actually a regulated company too, which is kind of important. Now you can argue that you can't get every single crypto on Coinbase because some of them aren't securities. So you have to go to different platforms to trade those. But nonetheless, my big concern with everybody being super confident about crypto being safe and wallets being safe is quantum computing. Because the whole point is quantum computing can crack encryption quite rapidly. So if you're telling me that Microsoft has now come out with a quantum computing chip, when do we start hearing about, and to your point on the nuclear stuff, like all of those codes, it would crack everything. So that's where I'm concerned with where the advancement is coming in quantum computing, is that if the technology isn't regulated correctly and gets into certain hands, it could be a very bad situation for anything that people think is safe right now because they think it's encrypted.
Anything that's digital, right? So then all of a sudden all your regular bank accounts, and it's could be something to.
So I just thought I'd throw that out there.
No,
not to be doom and gloom, but like I just want to,
because it's a concern.
It's an interesting point that people think about wallets as being this safe thing because there's a passkey, but if there's quantum computing that is on the horizon, it's not going to take it long to crack that encryption, and we have to somehow create an encryption beyond
we currently
have to. I don't know.
Even though they announced that, we're still like I heard,
we're still
multi-years away from it. So it's not like everybody listen. Don't worry about your
but it's on the horizon at some point to have this type of technology, and
I assume then there'll be some kind of other super encryption or something, right? Where you add more digits that
so
a super
what I'm hoping is that
crack.
as Microsoft is developing this and other companies are developing this, they're developing a way to protect against it. I mean, you almost have to, because then
otherwise it's like it opens the doors for
everything.
Yeah.
Sorry, I took us out on a tangent there, but
no, but I think it was very interesting, and maybe you can speak a little bit to the next point here, because it flows very softly from point to point today. You just mentioned it, regulation.
Maybe we should just let Lisa host from now on.
Yeah, she's doing a fantastic
you're
job.
doing a fantastic job. You're just like handing it over to the next thing I want to talk about, and that's regulation. So Keith, when you think of like Bitcoin regulations at all, where we are at the moment, we had a little bit more regulations, right? We came up with Bitcoin ETFs last year and some other cryptocurrencies. But when we look at at the politics stage, which is important when we talk about like introducing it as a reserve, maybe, then there's a lot of different opinions out there. How to regulate it, by how much, and that's actually important to be kind of on the same page here for a reserve. So do you think we can get our heads together here?
I do. I think in my earlier point, I think a lot of his cabinet members have this kind of background or DNA of cryptocurrency, and I forget the guy heading it, but it's basically the cryptocurrency AI czar. He's out there and he's the one leading the pack on it. I think, obviously the old, SEC chairman was against. Gensler was, hotly against this, and he's gone. So I think everybody that's now put in those positions, I think they'll start, playing nice in the sandbox, and I think they will start passing regulations. We saw the ETF last year, and I think that makes it for a normal investor that has to worry about security and losing your key. Me personally, I never bought. Good thing because my picture issues I have. But if you hear the horror stories of people having
people are
10,
millionaires
20
by now,
millionaires,
but they cannot
but they can't access it.
They're going through garbage fields to try to find their hard drive that they threw away 10 years ago.
It's crazy. So now with the ETF wrapper around those, I mean I'm comfortable, and I actually in this dip this week I bought an ETF. That's crypto based. And it's like I feel comfortable with that, because it's I can see it on my Schwab account, and it's right there.
You've got 2 layers of security for you, kind of. Now you're reliant on, I don't know which one you bought, but let's just say BlackRock. You're relying on BlackRock making sure that what you own is secure, but it's a lot. Not only do you have hopefully strong cybersecurity from them, they also have a portion of, because all these ETFs are digitally backed by Bitcoins. If you think about it like gold being a gold ETF is physically backed by gold, right? They have vaults of gold that they audit and do all that. Same concept, but it's just digital. They keep some of those in what they call cold storage, where it's offline and it can't be hacked and stolen, right? Unless if you actually go into the data center and pull out the specific area where they're storing it, right? The specific hard drive, which is probably pretty challenging.
Pretty challenging versus.
So you have some, and then you also have the security from Schwab side as well.
Yep.
Right. So I think it's, to your point, it's an easier way for people to own it.
Yeah. If I forget my password for my brokerage account or bank account, right, you can have the access to getting it. And that's where it's like, boy, on the Bitcoin, you better make sure you knew what your key was and it was in a safe spot. And,
and then, like, to your point, right, it's in the same spot like all of your other investments.
Yep.
It's in the same brokerage account.
It prices.
Right. Correct. So it kind of, you do not have to go somewhere else to an exchange you never heard of. It's a little bit more stable, a little bit more, gives a little bit more.
And I think Trump's definitely pushing for US first on the crypto space. And I think the regulations are getting more tightened. And you usually think regulation is a net negative, but I think in this case it's a positive. It kind of puts a little more structure around the wild west, and you get bigger institutional investors investing in it and get more people comfortable putting their money into it.
Yeah, I'd agree.
And also, I think we will hear probably a little bit more about that later this week, because on Friday there's the first what they call it White House cryptocurrency summit happening. White House Crypto Summit is happening this Friday.
Nice.
With the biggest names out there in the crypto space.
David Sachs, I think that's the guy's name I was thinking of trying to earlier.
I think I heard that before.
And he's probably one of the guys that's actually going to be leading or speaking at this event.
And kind of how to kind of do the American first cryptocurrency strategy. Maybe we'll hear a little bit more about the reserve as well, where we are there. I mean, there is Trump kind of installed a separate crypto crew, so to speak, that work on how would that look like. So maybe we'll hear a little bit update about that.
You still pretty excited about it, Tyler, about the whole space and crypto? Obviously, you manage our digital portfolio.
I think over the long term, it'll be great. I think short term, you've kind of seen all the potential tailwinds possible. Now, if this reserve actually does go into effect, there's going to be a lot of demand from our government specifically on Bitcoin, which will be good and probably sends prices higher. But I think that's, like I said earlier, that's still a little ways out before anything like that happens. So I would guess most of the tailwinds for crypto and specifically Bitcoin, because that's the one that we can trade in right now. We can do Ethereum too, but I just stick to Bitcoin for our portfolio sake. I think there's not a lot of room left on the upside for right now in the short term. So for digital discovery, I've switched more to focus on AI and the quantum computing rather than being So I have more weight in AI and quantum computing than I do in crypto right now.
Good. Yeah, it's something that you're still, when you look up a
Yeah.
year, 2, 3.
I still think it's going to be a great place to be, but you just have to deal with the
little volatility that we're
ups and
seeing.
downs.
Yeah.
20% in a couple of days, right?
Good.
So-
No, it's definitely volatile, but it gives us some opportunity, gives you some opportunity
Yeah,
to change some
absolutely.
things around as well.
Yeah.
But again, still a lot of uncertainty
For
there,
sure.
but was interesting and nerded out a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you own any crypto?
Yes.
You do?
Oh,
Yes,
wow.
I do.
That's
ETF
unexpected.
or direct?
Direct.
What?
Yes.
She probably owns it from $100 or something.
No, not that early, unfortunately. No.
Where is this coming?
Wow,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's a
Yeah.
surprise. I
Dang.
would have guessed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, that's something for me to noodle on. That's a really.
It wasn't
There you go.
easy to look at it in the last couple of days. Though. But yeah.
Well, I suppose you own an airplane, you got a hangar, you got all this stuff. Why not have some actual Bitcoin as well?
Oh my God, that sounds way too. And live in an apartment still,
Yeah.
right? Because it's priced out of houses.
I heard Jeremy took my my realtor job
Yes,
from me.
and he did a way better job than
Yeah.
you do. To
He's-
be
he's
Way
honest.
better.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh.
he
And
gives
quick,
a lot
efficient.
of quick, efficient, a lot of good tips and recommendations on
Yeah.
different neighborhoods and what to pricing and all of that. I never heard that of you.
No, Tyler, your second career as a real estate agent.
I just thought you wanted to show you houses, so I was just sending you listings. I didn't know you wanted advice.
Yeah, but I have to show you what Jeremy sent me.
Yeah,
I
Lake
guess.
properties,
He's got dialed in cheaper prices.
cheap, like
All right.
pond property. Yeah, let's
Lake-
let's
leave
let
it
it
at
down.
that.
Lake properties.
Let's dial that back a
Maybe
little
not
bit.
lake, but
Pond.
We got views anyway.
But anyways, yeah, I'm still looking for houses.
Okay.
But yeah, let's move to a little bit more light-hearted topic here. That ties back to one of our fun facts from the beginning. One of our facts, the Oscars
Oh,
from the weekend, right? That awards the best actors, the best whatever, best red carpet look, and all of that stuff.
Tyler and I don't really know since we don't not watching it.
Any
but
one of
so-
you watched it?
No.
I did not. I always watch the summary where they kind of
Oh,
trash the best dressed and the worst dressed. That's always funny
that's
on the
good
day
stuff.
after to kind of score the dresses and the suits and all of that. But I do not really watch it. But I thought to stay with the theme, it would be nice to do something like that to award the best stocks
Yeah,
in different categories. I thought let's give it a shot and
sounds fun.
let's hear from you who you would award with an Oscar in the different.
What category are we going to start with?
We start with, so first of all, camera, lights
Oh God.
on. To get a little drama in here, Tyler. Okay, that did not went over quite as I planned.
you could tell who's driving the captain's chair over there.
Anyways, not quite Barbara Walters yet, but I'm trying. I'm learning. So first category, best performance in a leading role. So which stock had a standout year? Which one would you give the best performance in a leading role, the best actor?
I'll go first.
Mhm.
The first one I would put up there, I think, is kind of probably a service that we all use, and it's been a great stock, is Netflix. How about that one?
That is good.
It's been
I
a
I guess I
love
wasn't
that.
expecting that one. I was
no, I
expecting-
know something different. That's what
Mm.
it's kind of, a
Mhm.
subtle, but I think it's up on a 1-year returns of like 55%. It's pretty
Yep.
solid.
Yep.
I mean, there's some more wild, crazy ones like that,
Yeah.
but that's just a stellar performance, stellar company.
Yep,
We all use
definitely.
it for the
Correct.
most part.
Yep.
Less maybe you can't since you got the house and you got the airplane, digital currency. So maybe you're cutting back somewhere else.
Something's
Lisa.
had to give. Something had to give. Keith.
Jeez.
A Netflix subscription is not
That's
in the
out.
cards. Tyler?
There's two that I would going back and forth between. I think the most obvious answer would be Nvidia, but I think I'm going to go with Meta.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Nice.
great.
I mean, everybody talks about Nvidia.
Mhm.
Nvidia. I mean, people talk about Meta too, but I mean, they've had two back-to-back
hmm
crazy years,
I agree.
and
Yep.
I think
Yep.
they're becoming one of the leaders in the AI space.
Yep.
So I'll go with Meta for best performance.
Nice. Lisa,
Awesome.
what do you got?
I always, I mean, the obvious one, Nvidia, right? And I didn't want to take quite that, right? Because
Yeah.
it's like the obvious one. I actually go with Amazon. I
Oh,
kind of love
great.
Amazon.
I like all three of those names we mentioned.
Yeah, yeah. We
Good.
mentioned it kind of over the last couple of mentions. Yeah, I still like it. I like
Good.
the diversification
Yep.
between innovative stuff, but also like consumer and all the retail,
Yeah.
biggest retailer.
Margins
is-
going up. It's all
Yep,
good.
Yep.
Forget. I just got an email from them about doing some new business that they're launching.
I don't know. Sign up for it.
I don't know.
I'm a big fan of the stock, so anything you do
Yeah,
to help
sign up
support
for
it.
it.
I'll have to go back and look, but it was something that I was like, really? Oh, car delivery. You can now
delivery?
buy cars from Amazon.
Okay,
Wow.
that's news to
It's
me.
probably not so good for Carvana, I assume.
Oh, interesting. Next category. Best supporting asset. So supporting actor. Which sector or commodity quietly helped the market shine? So sector or
Helped the
name.
market shine.
Right, which is not the leading actor, like the supporting.
I'll throw one
actor.
out there quick. Obviously, you
Mhm.
mentioned the three big names, but all to say a sector industry is financials.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was
Yeah,
a
that-
very
yeah.
solid.
Can't
Yep.
go with that
Oh,
now.
did I take your thunder, Tyler?
That's all right. I'll think
Yeah.
of something else.
Okay, Lisa, what do you have? Something?
I have a name, and I mean it's quite a fuss about it, ASML, but it's still maybe it's not tying in perfectly with supporting, but I think it's not as shiny or it's not as named as shiny as Nvidia and all of some other Magnificent Seven, but it still is
Yeah,
that
solid.
one important thing for all the chips and semi
Sure.
performance, right? Because it produces the machines to actually
Yeah.
make the chips. So I think it's not the leading role, not what we hear every day like Nvidia, but still a very much important
I like it.
supporting.
What do you got? Tyler?
I'm gonna go. I'm hesitant to say consumer staples because some consumer staples haven't been great, but
Walmart, and we are back.
no,
It's back, Lisa.
I'm going with Costco
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
as a
Yeah,
supporting
yep,
actor
yep.
Love
or
it.
actress.
Can't talk good enough about Costco
Right,
more
Keith,
often.
that's right, your alley. Are you planning on stopping there today, Keith?
I might actually.
Yeah,
I
maybe.
stopped there on last Friday, but I need to.
Maybe they
Yeah.
have something new
Weren't you
since then.
taking a month break? Did that month
I
break
did.
ever happen?
Now I'm back in. Yeah, no, it did happen. I took a
Okay.
month after Christmas. I did.
Jeez.
But I'm back at it.
So next category, the biggest box office flop. A stock that had all the hype or for a while, but still managed to fail or fizzled out. What is the winner in that category or the loser?
Yeah.
Let's say.
I'm going with Target.
Oof.
Yeah, very much.
That
Right,
was.
right,
I mean,
right shock to me.
they've had. It's probably been 18 months of kind of a struggle, but
Mm-hmm.
the stock started to come back a little bit on the hopes
Yep.
that they were kind of right sizing their inventory, but doesn't seem like that's happening.
No.
So I would go with Target for my
Yep.
my
Yeah,
biggest
100%
flop.
agree. Since
Yep.
Walmart's been so good,
Yeah.
and then Target's been bad, so
Yeah.
that's definitely a great call. Unfortunately, I own it. Another one would be Dexcom,
Mhm.
which is a diabetes
Oh.
play. So that's which was a good growth stock,
Yeah.
and then it had some issues a couple
Yeah.
quarters, and it's coming back
it's
now.
coming back.
I think
Yeah,
it could
yeah.
maybe be a leading role for maybe next year or
Maybe
two
next
out.
year. Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
But
Yep.
for 1 year, not so good.
Not so good. I go with Tesla,
Oh, that's the one
All
I
the
had that written
hype.
down too.
but
Isn't it down like
So, yeah.
45% in like
yeah.
Yeah, especially if you look at the
Yeah.
last
10 days?
Yeah. Yeah.
no, probably
all
the
the
last
hype, but
2 months, but yeah.
still fails to deliver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not kind of holding deadlines and then kind of hyping it up, but still managed to fail.
Yeah.
At the end. So that's my pick here. But going back to some positive awards here, Lifetime Achievement Award, the stock that has stood the test of time.
Well,
let's do most underrated performer.
oh, there you go.
Oh, I missed one. Yeah, sorry.
I've got it at the top of my head.
Most underrated
Going
performer
on the
then
fly here.
because
Go.
because
What-
because
what-
Tyler has it on the top of his
Yeah.
head. Not that he forgets it. Like a stock that has been flying under the radar.
Broadcom.
Okay, I was not even done
Oh,
with my
well,
with my hype
you-
up, but okay, good. Broadcom. Okay.
Tyler loves Broadcom, and it's good.
When everybody talks about AI, nobody talks about
No.
Broadcom. They
Did
talk
you-
about
did you
Nvidia,
hear-
and then they go over to Meta and Apple and Amazon and
Microsoft,
Google,
and
Microsoft.
AMD, and
Did you see him not being able to wait until I'm finished? Until
no,
he's
boom.
getting that out.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah.
the one, another one would be a med tech company, Boston Scientific. It's here
Uh-huh,
in Minnesota.
yeah,
It's been a great stock. I think it's up again over 50% for a 1-year number. So
Oh wow.
definitely under the radar that people don't
Yeah.
talk about. And it's been a fantastic stock in a couple of portfolios for us.
I take one a lot of people don't know, which is Ryanair, and we actually hold it in the G40I,
Nice.
which I think is the low cost leader in Europe by far, with destinations and all of that. And they kind of have a hype around them, right? Kind of the hype that you have to pay extra for everything. But that's kind of their spiel by now.
And they got an entertaining CEO.
They have an entertaining CEO. Their socials are great to look at. Like they are playing with that kind of cheap sense. And yeah, I think they're doing great. Travel demand should be up in Europe. They are the leaders in the low cost space there. So I think they're very much underrated. So I go with them.
Love it. It's a good one.
But now, Tyler,
Sorry.
to go back, lifetime achievement award. Are you ready for that one, or
I'll let Keith go first.
okay?
Well, you'll be shocked at the one I had. I had two written down here.
Broadcom.
It was. Broadcom was one. It's one that, like you said, no one talks about the $1 trillion market cap. So and the other one obviously is Apple, which I'm less positive on the nearer term, but for lifetime achievement, obviously it's the largest company in the S&P 500. How can't you give it to Apple?
I like that.
Yeah.
What's yours?
So I kind of have two. You can throw in more in that category, like P&G or a Walmart to go back there.
I'd go Walmart
to
over
being able
P&G.
to, because they're consistently paying dividends, growing their dividends. They're like old, long-standing staples, consumer staples. They're for a long time blue chip companies. Managed to reinvent themselves over again, especially Walmart. So I think that's a pretty much lifetime achievement here, especially from Walmart. Yeah.
I guess I'll go with Coca-Cola.
No, Staples lovers.
Yeah. I mean, the stock, it has its ebbs and flows, but
Warren
overall,
Buffett, I'm sitting next to the two here.
Overall, it's been a great stock lately.
It's been good, especially the last year. It's been really good.
Yep.
Can't argue with you.
No.
All right.
All good. And the last
they own
one,
the market in bottling, so.
Yep. What's your last category?
The red carpet look. Like what stock is very flashy, is the best dressed, but not really a substance behind that.
Well,
what is that?
I'll go, and it's Tyler already mentioned it, but it's the one for me that stands out would be Tesla. It's had a great performance, flashy, and then the numbers never prove out to it. It's like he's got a great vision, so don't get me wrong, I like what he's doing, but the numbers haven't proved out to where the stock should be. So that's my answer.
Going with Palantir.
Wow, that's a bold call.
I mean,
I agree.
The
it's
stock's
expensive.
I mean, it's pulled back quite a bit now, but it's still trading at like 150 times next year's earnings. So there's, I mean,
80 times revenue.
Technology is fantastic. Like, it's a very interesting company. A little bit of a black box still.
Right. I just wanted to say nobody really know what they're actually doing.
Which is part of what a defense company, defense stock kind of is, right? A lot of them are black boxes anyways, but the technology is super cool, like the stuff that they can do with large data and the AI systems, but I just don't see 150 times next year's earnings at what they're growing at.
Yeah, so I would say it's flashy, but I'd say there's some substance. It just matter what you pay for it. That's all.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Lisa, what do you got?
Yeah, I had also Tesla on the radar here as a double loser Oscar award here. But I also go with another category when we think about not a specific stock, but when we think about the meme stock category, like GameStop, for example. Like there some in there in that basket. I mean, that's a lot of flash behind that, right? Draws in a lot of interesting.
Any of those meme names that can
and that can be basically everything, right? And you do not know in the beginning. But that is pretty much it. There's nothing behind that most of the time. but it's flashy and it has its
Yeah.
place in the
Yeah.
headlines for
I
a
think it
little bit.
was it AMC, the movie theater?
Yeah.
That was the
Yeah.
one I was like, what?
Yeah.
It's a movie theater.
Mm.
They're actually dying on the
Or
business model.
Right.
BlackBerry was another one.
Yeah. Yep,
Yeah.
yeah, right. It's
Like just random names. It's like
Nokia.
right.
oh.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a way to relive that. Anyways, thank you for your nominations and for your awards, guys.
Yeah.
I think that was a fun one for the spaghetti wall today.
It
Yeah.
was.
That was
Yeah.
good.
So let's call it a day for now. And we are back next week for episode 46.
Yeah.
Hopefully from a more springy Minnesota then.
Yeah.
Yeah. See you next time, guys.